of these German butterballs, and I had some left over, so I'm gonna meet Lauren in the middle, and she's planting her Yukon golds.
How many rows will we have of those?
We'll probably have a few rows of those. We don't quite know yet. Right now we have 2 full ones, and then Lauren and Uncle Eric are coming down with some of them too.
Yeah, our Yukon golds, they were the best that we did last year as far as harvesting and as far as keeping them for a long period of time. They did really, really well. It's been very wet here in South Alabama. We've had a lot of rain, so we're the beginning of March, maybe the start of the 2nd week of March, and we're getting them in the ground now. So it's a little later than we like to, but we had to wait for the soil to dry up and for the weather to be nice. So hopefully they should do well now. We started out about 1 foot, but now we look like we're about 6 inches, maybe.
The first row was a little closer.
Don't let me forget to write it down. That half of this row is gonna be German butterballs.
Okay.
What the fertilizer was for this.
So back in last year, we did a soil test on the soil, and of course each plot we said what we were going to plant in it. So they told us what kind of soil we had to put in the ground.
Kind of minerals.
Kind of minerals, excuse me, not soil.
Yeah, and try to start, like you see real quick, start right here. Start with him.
You see, it's a family affair.
Start right there, Dad. Start right there. Let me come to you with some of these.
Got me, Mom, and Aunt Diana come to visit. Meemaw's getting her hand in.
Hang on.
Oh,
okay. You know the thing that sprouts in your closet?
Yeah. Okay.
Just put some in your mouth if you want to, if you ain't got but just a few left.
Diana, did y'all ever plant potatoes?
I'm sure.
Oh my God, we had no potato bugs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they can be.
We had those 1 year.
That's another thing that helps. Last year, we do a rotation in these plots. Last year our taters was up
Murphy,
there.
get out of there. Get.
And that doesn't guarantee you're not going to have like tater bugs, but it helps when you rotate, because if there was any larva that was left in the ground from the potato bugs, we left it up there, so
yeah,
they're not likely to hatch and come all the way across the garden. So that helps with the bugs too.
we're learning each year.
Down with which one? The same one I got. Yeah, it's fine.
Do we need to go over 150, baby?
What? Just come down this next one right there. Right there. Uncle Eric.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's right. I think so. A lot of people, and it's kind of hard to tell when you get out here and get to walking over your place where you're supposed to. Yes, sir. I see the tractor tire right here, son. Uncle Eric? I asked. Uncle Eric's on the right row. The tractor tire goes right here where our foot is. Mine and Uncle Eric's foot.
What were you going to say, Stumpy?
Well, it as far as helping you remember where you're at, I mean, if you forget, you just go to the first row, and the first furrow is where the tire is. And so the two tires need to straddle where you're supposed to plant. And so if you get confused, you look for your tractor tire tracks, and you know that one goes 3 foot on each side of the row, just like this right here. And just like this right here. See the tractor tire tracks?
Yeah.
Well, they tire tracks go. No, I got Johnny going down the wrong road, I think.
Oh no.
I do, Eric. hold up, Johnny. If it is,
We got those that wrong too.
I'm so sorry.
Want them in this row?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as they in the right row.
So even, there's times even when we get confused, right?
That's exactly right. We ain't nobody perfect.
So we realized that we were planting them over in the wrong row.
Just
so
one row is all we messed up on, and that was my fault.
So we stopped and fixed it. And now we're coming down the right road.
Jason's planting this one row of red potatoes over there, and them red potatoes will come off and make about 2 to 3 weeks earlier than these Yukon golds. They take a little longer to make.
Okay, Stumpy, what are you doing now?
Oh, and I'm fixing to take my little push plow, and what we done was we took the push plow and we set it up where when you push it like this, it makes you a furrow to drop your potatoes in. See right on down there where we drop the potatoes?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do now is fix the, you can reverse them and it'll cover them up. And so I'm fixing to reverse these plows.
Eric went out and got his piece of paper so we could see what we were supposed to fertilize the spot with. The soil test results. So what do you got, Eric?
So we have 5 pounds of nitrogen and 5 pounds of K2O2, which is potash, right? Potassium oxide.
Yeah, that's the last.
Huh?
That's the last.
Right, so basically it needs 5 pounds of nitrogen, 5 pounds of potash, and then 3 pounds of side dress of nitrogen when we side dress it. For that plot.
For the plot, yeah. So we actually put out about 20 pounds.
Okay.
So, you know, for the plot, which is almost double what it called for.
Right. Not with 11 rows.
Yeah, maybe just the plot called for 5. In other words, it didn't almost. Really, what this paper is telling us is it almost was okay to just plant it without putting anything. But this should bring it up to where you make a maximum amount.
Optimal, right.
Yeah, of what you plant.
See, plot 1 was, what were we planting here?
I can't remember.
Because we did
Jason's got it wrote down.
we did the soil test based on what we were going to plant this spring in each plot, so we'll know what to add. So I can't remember what we're supposed to plot over here, but it's going to be more fertilizer over here. And plot 3, plot 4, plot 5, and plot 6.
So Jason's changing the blades.
So it's actually more than just putting it in the ground. There's an art. There's a formula, and you got to be smart. I'm not claiming that.
Well, I just want to take this time to let people know out there that's watching YouTube how much they should appreciate a farmer and his knowledge. Because we've been doing it now for 5 years, and I'm beginning to think I know less now than I did when I started.
Yeah.
And so there's always plenty to learn.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Got to have them a little closer together.
But the plots are smaller, so
I think.
whatever crops planted will be manageable.
Should have been, right?
I won't feel like I'm
You can turn them more.
Well,
childhood again with 100-yard row of peas, thinking I'm never gonna get done.
well, you can attack one plot with 5, 6 people and knock it out pretty quick. Versus
Yeah, just like we did them
all
onions.
this in peas, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh dear Lord.
We used to do that. We used to
Well, you know, last year, peas, we halfway looked at them.
Y'all gonna have any yolk?
Oh, we didn't.
We done a decent job of weeding the peas and all that, but right there at the end, the grass caught back up with it.
The
Sorry.
pasture this year won't need but 1,000 pounds, John.
That's right. And so, anyway, we, you know, our hopes is of tarping and not doing all this stuff is to cut down on the seed bank of the weeds and not have to do as much weeding or not have to fight it this hard.
I'd love for one day to be able to do it without poison so we could have bees out here.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
One year.
You can do it with poison. Travis does.
My thoughts on that, Johnny, would be
No, that is
like
a.
if you sprayed them,
that is a peach
like do
tree.
it late in the evening, real late,
We got peach
when the
trees.
bees
Yeah.
are starting to go
We
in.
got plum trees. We just planted a pear,
Pear
tree.
tree.
Right there.
Peach trees are blooming. Did you show them
Yeah,
that, Denise?
We got to fertilize them.
Oh yeah, you see
I need to
The
go get some
blooms
fertilizer stakes tonight.
on the peach trees.
What's a little cattywampus thing?
Yeah, blooming.
I'll break the legs trying to. I had to turn this one a little more.
How many do I need? That's probably,
There we
I
go.
don't know, about 3 or 4 stakes.
I swear that's a. I don't need a son, but I guess.
That's right now.
Yeah, that looks right. You may have them too far apart. You may have to put them closer together, babe. Yeah, that's right. If you push them closer together, son. They need to be pushed in a little more and turned out a little more. You know what I'm saying? Got us 11 rows of potatoes. We got us 1 row of German butterball and a half, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, and a half, or 7 and a half rows of Yukon Golds and 1 row of Kennebec Reds. And planted a row of red potatoes because they'll make first. We'll have something to eat then. Anyway, we're finishing up the video. We appreciate y'all watching.
10-4.
Talk to them, Johnny.
Next project.
Corn. Be the next thing we plant.
Corn and
Snap beans,
Snap beans.
cucumbers.
And of course we got a couple other things we need to do on the farm, but
Getting the garden going. The onions looking pretty. The English peas are blooming. Don't want to be long.
coming together.
All right.
All right, guys. This is Eric here with Perry Hill Farms. Been working on the taters some. Fertilized them, plowed them, and spending a little time pulling the dirt up to them. I'll show you some of that in just a minute. No, it's hot out here today. It's real still, but we're gonna get out here and work a little while and get it done. All right, guys. As you can see, we pretty well got the dirt pulled up to them. We planted this year. I don't know if you watched the earlier video when we planted them, but we planted this year. We planted a row of red potatoes, new potatoes. Then we planted several rows of Yukon Golds, and they just come up real sporadically. We didn't have real good success with them. You know, I got them from Hoss Tools. I'm not knocking them, but I just say, you know, I paid $100 for a 50-pound bag, and you can see they just come up sporadically. Planted about 8 rows of them, something like that. You come right down here. My sister-in-law followed me down here just a little bit. Now, we bought some German butterballs from them, and my son planted them in this first row over here. I want you to look at the difference and how well they come up and all. I mean, just about every one of them come up, and they just as pretty as they want to be. And but then you come along here, you know, and you can see right here where the Yukon golds are kind of sporadic. And then he had a little bit more German butterball left, and he planted a little piece of row. And then you can see down there where we started back with the Yukon golds. And but I mean, you know, this is why every year you plant extra, because this year we had a late frost, and so we waited before we planted our potatoes. I'm still, you know, I'm wondering how they're gonna do, because it's gonna be on up in the getting into the heat of the summer. Doesn't take long around here, you know, it gets hot. And so I'm wondering how they're gonna do, you know, coming up into the heat of the summer, because we had to wait to plant them. I was afraid the frost would kill them, and but they may or may not do as well. But what I was saying is, you know, every year, if you make a bumper crop, can you some of these potatoes and save them. This is one of the things that I used up first last year. And so I tried to get out here and plant some more this year where I would have plenty to can. Well, as you can see, my potato crop may not be quite as good. Of course, now last year we made about 500 pounds, but I'm still, I mean, you know, after it's all said and done, we probably got a good 5 or 6 good rows here. So I'm hoping to at least make maybe half what we made last year. But anyway, when we get to the point of digging them and all, we'll dig them up and show you and what we made, and then I'll show you canning some potatoes. But anyway, appreciate you watching. Remember, I always say a simple life's a much more enjoyable life. God bless y'all, and thank you from Perry Hill Farm.